sit back and chillax because it's time for video games on GGSP. I'm Rad.
I'm Jem.
And I'm Will. Coming up on the show, we take on Leggo Inside brick by brick to see if this new augmented reality toy stacks up.
Plus, I'm gonna share my all-time favorite chill-out games.
And of course, gaming news plus heaps more. But first, we kind of have to build a few things for the Leggo review.
Okay, we've got about 3 seconds, so... Rad, I know this is the closest bus stop, but I don't like it. It's a little spooky.
Well, it is a graveyard, but don't worry, I'm sure it's harmless.
Did you see that?
See what?
That! Ghost!
I think we're safe now. Leggo Inside is a new series of Lego sets, which can be used with an augmented reality or AR mobile app to hunt ghosts in the town of Newbury.
While the app is free, the 8 physical Lego sets in the series cost around $50 to $200, but the gameplay remains the same. To hunt for ghosts, you line up your compatible Lego set so the app can overlay an AR scene. That brings it to digital life, where you can then scan for supernatural activity and let the ghost hunting begin.
You hunt the ghosts by simply shooting them, making sure not to let your weapon overheat. Aiming is controlled through the camera by moving your device, which can be a little dizzying, but thankfully there's a lot of aim assist. There's all manner of spooky subjects to find, and once you defeat them and clear an area, you'll capture those ghosts for your collection. Oh look, Will, our bus is here.
Oh, thank goodness. This doesn't look that scary.
Well, of course not, Will. What did you think? The building was gonna eat us?
Ah! Wait, why did we go inside the scary building?
I don't know, but it seems safe in here.
Well, Hidden Side also offers up boss battles. But these weren't that exciting because the gameplay is largely the same, and they were all way too powerful for us to defeat. It'd probably take a lot of time and upgrades to be strong enough to take them down. They do look cool though.
Oh, they really do. One thing I didn't love though is just how many points and chests there are. There's so many different types. You've got Gloom, Spirit, and subscribers to collect and spend on different upgrades. And then there's 2 different types of chests called capsules. It's a lot, and things end up feeling messy and confusing. I also found the AR app would sometimes lag, and that made it almost unplayable.
Yeah, and supposedly there's a story to this too, but not that I could tell. You can also use your collection of ghosts to haunt digital versions of the sets. But unfortunately, it seemed we were only ever able to play the graveyard, despite there being a timer that said the available map would reset. Would have liked to have seen some different maps.
Yeah, not having different locations really made things feel repetitive. To haunt an area, you set up a team of ghosts from your collection, then drop in and move around the map, picking up gloom, which you then shoot at structures. You can also swap colors to avoid being attacked by running over colored spots on the floor.
You can level up your ghosts and they all have different stats and abilities. But ultimately, they all feel pretty much the same to play, other than their speed. I definitely think there's a lot of scope for characters and abilities to be tweaked to make things a bit more dynamic, but I don't think it's really there yet, is it?
Not really. Leggo itself has been around for ages, and building the sets is as delightful as ever. This is a new way to play with Leggo that feels fresh and innovative, and I love that. It reminds me of Nintendo Labo a little bit. But the flip side of that coin is that it will always take things a little bit of time to find their stride. Although I think what we see here is very promising. So I'm giving Leggo Inside 3 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Now, I'm a big Lego fan, so adding AR to building sets is pretty cool. I wouldn't go out and buy these sets just to play this, but if you're looking for Lego already, this is a pretty fine addition. So I'm giving it 3 out of 5 rubber chickens as well.
Now, how do we get out of here?
Good morning, Australia! It's time for The Scoop with me, Darren! Joining me this week is my special human guest, Will.
Hey, Darren. Hi, everyone.
Before we get stuck into the gaming news for this week, it's time for another dumbfounding Darren's Challenge! What is the name of this game?
Here's a hint. Don't second guess yourself on this one.
Oh, cryptic. Oh. Now, on to the news. First up, the upcoming Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 game is set to include a touch of old school style. Classic Mario and Sonic sprites of old will be available in a number of 2D style sporting events, including long jump, diving, volleyball, and marathon. All of which will run alongside the game's 3D offerings.
Oh, always nice to see those original sprites. Though I do wonder, is it an uneven playing field if Mario is 8-bit and Sonic is 16-bit?
Do you think that's a bit unfair? A bit? Oh, thank you. Now to another tidbit of gaming news, and a board game based on Shovel Knight appears to be on the cards. A tabletop rendition of the side-scrolling 2D platformer recently met its crowdfunding goal. The tactile version, called Shovel Knight Dungeon Duels, will include interpretations of many of the video game's features, like losing loot when you hit spikes, and, interestingly, shifting board tiles to reflect the side-scrolling movement.
Oh, that's pretty cool to see a video game movement technique expressed IRL like that. Oh, and it's good to see tabletop games and video games coexisting in harmony like this.
Affirmative. Oh, you know we almost forgot to discuss the announcement that Minecraft is introducing fancy ray tracing. Although they may have pulled the pin on the super-duper graphics pack, compatible Windows 10 devices will soon be capable of the more realistic lighting, water and textures that ray tracing allows. Look at the way the light bounces off those blocks. So lifelike.
And I'm sure more light will be shed on this feature ahead of its planned release sometime next year. I also heard some buzz that the Java edition of Minecraft has added bees and hives and honeycomb.
Unbelievable! Woohoo! Right, now it's time for the extra scoop! What have you brought for us this week, Will?
Well, Darren, another extra scoop and another impressive creation from the mind of a gamer, this time in No Man's Sky. The latest Beyond update added some extra building features, and creative players like Boyd Gaming have been making all sorts of cool things, like this version of Rocket League made in the game's creative mode.
Goal! Boyd Gaming also created a combination lock in No Man's Sky using switches and wiring. We gamers are such a talented bunch. Ooh. And now for the answer to Darren's Challenge! The game is, of course, Minute, the retro-inspired indie adventure game released last year, where each of your lives lasts for just 60 seconds.
And that minute sure flies by fast.
Just like our time here today. That's it for this week's Scoop. Until next time, good night, Australia.
Maybe they should make a sequel to Minute and call it Neck Minute. You know, like that meme.
Oh, affirmative. I have all known memes in my database.
The life of a gamer can be exhausting. Saving princesses, fending off creepers, going toe-to-toe with creatures of legend. It's hard work. So every now and then it helps to get immersed in a game that isn't all about fighting for our lives. These are my top 5 favourite chill games. Life is not about the destination but the journey, a phrase that developer Jonathan Blow's The Witness takes to heart. Navigating the island's many puzzles and mysteries is just as rewarding as navigating the island itself. Deserted trails lead you through decrepit buildings, lush forests and sandy beaches, as you flex your brain trying to spot patterns and clues to reach the highest peak. Come for the puzzles, stay for the nature walk. Too often, the deep blue sea is portrayed as this scary, hostile, otherworldly unknown, full of creatures that want nothing more than to make you their next meal. And to a degree, that's true. The sea can be cruel, but it can also be beautiful, as we see in Giant Squid Studios' Abzu. Without an oxygen tank or health bar keeping you tethered to reality, Abzu lets you explore at your own pace. This allows you all the time in the world to take in the natural wonders of this underwater metropolis and make friends with its fishy inhabitants, all set to an incredible orchestral score. It's one that's had me coming back time and time again. Speaking of time, there's never enough of it to do what we want, to experience all that there is to experience. But what if, in your final moments, you could go out in the embrace of a memory that's never happened? That's the case for the elderly patient of Dr. White and Rosaline in To the Moon. You must go delving into the memories of John and piece together his life story, all to fulfill his dying wish to go to the moon. With how fragile human memory is and how fleeting our lives are, To the Moon makes us think about the importance of living, learning from, and embracing the best and worst of what comes our way. Yes, this game is a tearjerker, but its sad moments only make its happy ones that much brighter. A game that almost needs no introduction, Journey has made a name for itself as one of the most touching and profoundly beautiful titles to have come out in the last decade. Not only is it graphically spectacular, but the way it blends audio and visual cues, all without a word, makes for a wonderfully serene experience. Whilst trudging up mountains and gliding down dunes of sand, you'll be accompanied by swells of music that'll make your heart soar, with a feeling you won't quite be able to place until you put down the controller and watch the credits roll. It's no secret that I have a deep love of games that transport me to other worlds, where I can leave behind my worries and become someone else. But sometimes the most powerful games are the ones that help you confront your problems, rather than run from them. Enter Gris, the puzzle platformer and debut title of Spanish developer Nomada Studio. A colourless world and a voiceless woman are all you're given when you first start. But as you explore this vast landscape, you'll be treated to not only gorgeous scenery as you restore barren lands and lush forests, but also some truly stunning and heartbreaking moments as you grow to learn from and understand the woman you're guiding. It's a beautiful game with a powerful message, and one I highly encourage you to check out on a rainy day. So that's my top 5 favourite chill games. Some are happy, some are sad, but all are incredible and well worth checking out. Well, I think I might actually have a nap.
All right, Jem, we have oodles of gaming questions, so we better get started.
Yeah, we sure do, but hang on, how many gaming questions make up an oodle?
Oh, I don't know, Jem. But what really are numbers anyway? What is a measurement? But these are not the questions we're here to answer. We're here to answer questions like this one from Zeb, sent to us in video form.
Hello GGSP, Zeb here. I have 2 questions for you. 1. How do you defeat the Reaper Leviathan in Subnautica? And 2. Is Subnautica Below Zero a DLC or a new game? P.S. Darren, do these.
Oh, some things for Darren.
Hello, hello.
Hi Darren, we have some emoticons for you.
Oh. Aha! Wink. Electric dreams.
Hey, thanks, Darren. Oh, you may as well stick around to help us with some of these Subnautica questions.
Oh, goody.
Right, well, thanks for your great question, Zeb. First, to the question of how to defeat a Reaper Leviathan. Now, typically, if I ever come across a Reaper Leviathan in Subnautica, I simply get out of there as quickly as possible while screaming and panicking. And you know, that's worked just fine for me so far.
Don't fear the Reaper, man.
No, I do fear the Reaper, Darren, absolutely do. They are very scary and very deadly.
But in order to answer Ask SP questions, must we not be bold? Must we not be brave? Must we not face both the real and metaphorical Reaper Leviathan within us all?
Ah, you make a good point, Darren. But that is easier said than done. Facing the Reaper Leviathan in creative mode is one thing, but in survival mode, it's a whole nother kettle of bladderfish, as we discovered.
We sure did. Now, before trying to tackle this task, you'll want to make sure you have a stasis rifle and a thermoblade at the very least, and high oxygen capacity. Once you have these things and you've located a Reaper, or it's located you, the method that worked for us was to charge up the stasis rifle as much as possible and let loose at the right time to freeze the Reaper's head. Then quickly swim to its underside, charge another stasis shot, and use a thermoblade to deal some damage. Make sure you're charging that stasis rifle all the way up before using it. It's so much more effective that way.
Totally, and keep refreshing the stasis when you can, so the Leviathan doesn't get away. Then just rinse and repeat this process for a few minutes, and eventually the Leviathan seems to fall. Any other tips, Darren?
Well, aside from always keeping an eye on your oxygen, I'd recommend having reasonably full health, food, and water meters too. You want to be as prepared as possible before attempting the deadly dance with this demon of the deep. And it's worth noting that while the stasis rifle does freeze the Reaper temporarily, it can still get you while in stasis if you're too close to its head. I learned that the hard way.
Oh, yikes. Good tips there, Darren. Thanks for your input. Bye.
You're most welcome. So long.
And don't forget, Reapers can do lots of damage not only to you, but to your vehicles, like the Seamoth, Prawn Suit, or Cyclops. Always keep your vehicle somewhere safe before getting too close to a Leviathan, and create a reliable save point beforehand if you insist on taking one on.
Or, you know, you could just adopt my motto, leave that Leviathan be. Put the leave in, Leviathan.
Also a valid option, no shame in being a coward. Now on to the question of whether Below Zero is a DLC or a whole new game. Well, it's being called a standalone expansion. So you don't need to have the original Subnautica to play it. It's basically a new chapter in the Subnautica universe, which takes place after the events of the first game.
Yeah, much of the gameplay is similar, but there are new creatures, features, items, and things like that. But I'd still recommend playing the original Subnautica before you play Below Zero, especially because Below Zero is still in early access.
Yeah, me too. Moving along now to another question from Rockin' Lachlan, who's inside all computers in South Australia.
Lachlan!
No, South Australia.
Oh, we're in New South Wales.
How much CPU power would you recommend for a gaming computer that can handle a variety of games? PS, love the show, hope it goes on as long as games do. PPS, Gem, do these. Oh.
Thanks, Rockin' Lachlan. If you're wondering how much CPU power is recommended for a gaming computer, well, there are a lot of variables to consider here and things to weigh up.
Yeah, we'd probably be here for ages if we really got into the nitty-gritty of CPU specs. I know Darren could go on about this stuff for eons. He even made a whole series explaining stuff about computers, which you can check out online.
Oh, let's not get him started again. My suggestion, if you want to find out what kind of CPU power would suit you personally, is to choose a few of the games you're hoping to play and then check out the minimum and/or required system specifications for those games. These are usually available to view on the digital stores or the backs of game boxes.
Yeah, hopefully this will give you a bit of a ballpark of what might work for you.
What might work for CPU?
Yes, very good, very good.
Now to another quick question, and this one is from Natasha in Hobart. I had lots of fun trying out the new game Cooking Simulator. Do you think there will be updates on this game soon to stop me from being less clumsy in the kitchen? Thanks, Natasha. If you're wondering whether there will be updates for Cooking Simulator, I'd say this is definitely a possibility. At the very least, the developers seem to be patching the game and making small tweaks and improvements. So future updates may fix bugs and improve some controls to help with the feeling of clumsiness you're referring to.
Although managing the silly physics does seem to be part of the fun and whole experience of the game.
Yeah, very much so. Aside from this, I think it would be great to see some kind of co-op element. Oh, or maybe even a VR mode. Just my suggestions.
I mean, that would be so cool in VR.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Well, I think we may have run out of time for today, but if you have a question for Ask SP, go here and send it in.
And make it a video for your chance of scoring some special GGSP goodies.
Oh, did you know, Jem, that an oodle is the collective noun for a group of poodles?
Is that true?
Yes. And did you know the collective noun for a group of rads?
Raddles?
Very good.
That, my friends, is the end of another show, but we have stacks more for you next week, including a review of the radical post-apocalyptic adventure, Rad.
If we are to survive, then we must find the one who is Rad.
Ooh, I'm really hoping it's good. You can't just use my name on any old game, you know?
If it's not good, I'd be happy to laser it.
Oh, thanks, Darren. Now, don't forget we have some super special online-only videos for you to check out. This week, it's a review of the mighty quest for epic loot. Do yourself a favour and go watch it now.
And until next time, may all your games be good ones. Will out.
Gem out.
Rad out.
Darren out.